Get in your mix with coffee on the coffee break. Get in your fix. It's coffee on your coffee break. Tune in now. Coffee break.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another fabulous episode of the Coffee Break. I am so excited about my special guest tonight. But before we get to that, I want to remind all of you out there watching, please share the video, share the video. Start your watch parties, whatever you like to do when you're watching the Coffee Break, please do that. Also, remember, if you happen to miss this live feed, then you can go over to my YouTube channel as well, and the will be posted there immediately after the live feed. And while you're at my YouTube channel, The Coffee Break, please subscribe and hit like on the videos. Okay, I really appreciate it. Y'all have been doing a wonderful job. We're up to over 1,600 subscribers, and I could not be more happy. And I just love you, and I appreciate all your love and support. Also, I want to mention that next week will be my season finale for season 1 of The Coffee Break. We've done 20 episodes. So we're going to take a couple of weeks break, and then we'll be back. And my very special guest next week will be my very dear friend, former Miss Gay USofA at large, Calexis Davenport, will be in the house on for the season finale on next week. So once again, thank you so much for tuning in tonight, and we are ready to get started. First of all, this my special guest tonight is someone that I've known for a very long time. We've gotten to know each other a lot more lately, because she is the reigning Miss Gay Texas USofA, and she comes to us from San Antonio. And what I love about her is that she's absolutely stunning and beautiful, but her personality and her heart is just as charming and just as warm as she is beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Coffee Break, the reigning Miss Gay Texas USofA. This is Taryn Taylor. Hi,
Hi. Hi,
hi,
Coffee.
how are
That was such
you?
a nice introduction. Thank you. My eyes got all watery.
Oh, I just tell the
Thank you.
truth,
I
honey.
appreciate that.
I just tell the truth. You're
I
always been
know.
so sweet and so wonderful. And I'm loving that we're having a chance to do this so that other people can really get to know you. I told you earlier that I noticed that at Miss Houston the other night, I looked around and I saw you walking around introducing yourself to customers and the audience. And I just think that's the most incredible thing. So you're doing an amazing job, and we're going to discuss all that as well.
Yeah.
But
Got a
even
lot to
though
talk
I
about.
know, yes, you have been in the business for a long time, and you competed for Miss Texas several times before, but there's still people out there that may not know you personally. So will you start off by giving us a little brief bio about yourself, Taryn?
Yeah. Um, my name is Taryn Sullivan is my legal name. I was born in Spain in a town called Torrejon, which was the American Air Force base in Spain. My dad, fresh out of high school, joined the Air Force, and his first tour of duty was stationed in Spain for 4 years. And in those 4 years, he met my mom, married her, got her pregnant, and had me. And when those 4 years was up, we got stationed in San Antonio at Lackland Air Force Base. So we moved to where my dad is from, New Jersey. Stayed there for I think about 6 months, maybe almost a year, until he found a place and got a steady home for us. And then moved us down here. Me and my little sister, my mom, and and then shortly, like after that, they divorced, and my mother just decided she wanted to raise her children here in America. So we've been here ever since.
Oh, wow. And I
Yeah,
had no idea that you
a
were
lot of people don't.
originally
Uh
from
huh.
Spain. Oh, my
Yeah,
God. How
my
exciting.
mother was born and raised in Spain. Her whole family. I've got a huge family on both sides of my parents. My mother is one of 7 children, and my dad is one of 4, and with tons of cousins. But I don't know my mom's family because we don't speak the language, so there's a language barrier. And my dad, we never had a lot of communication with my dad's
Oh,
side of the family. So basically, it's just me and my sister, my mom, my mom's husband, my nephew. We have a very small but very close, loving family.
and that's wonderful.
Yeah,
That's truly a
very
blessing.
supportive too. They're very supportive.
Well, I can tell just by you and the way you carry yourself and how you represent yourself that I can see you having such a wonderful background like that.
Yeah,
So
thank you.
tell me, tell me, when did you get this feeling that you want to become an entertainer? When did you decide that you want to hit the stage?
I was very young when I first started going to the gay bars. The Paper Moon was, well, actually, the Bonham was my first gay bar experience. And it was on New Year's Eve. I was 18 years old. And Tandy Andrews was doing a show there. If I'm not mistaken, I think Taylor Dane was the special guest, and Tandy Andrews opened up for her. And I
Ah,
was a naive 18-year-old kid. I I didn't understand that Tandy Andrews was a transgendered woman. I just thought, oh, this is just a hot girl stripper. I don't know, coming out to entertain before Taylor Dane came out. And of course, as I got older, I started meeting more of the transgender women in the community. And Tandy Andrews was, because back then there was no YouTube, there was no tutorials, there
right.
was nothing to educate us on what was going on, or who we are. There was nothing to nobody to see. So when I started seeing Tandy and Erica Andrews, and started seeing like that was possible, that's when in my head I was like, okay, so that's what's going on in my head. That's what I'm battling inside myself, because I never really felt like a gay male. I always felt a lot more feminine, but I didn't know what that was. So I just kept it as I'm just a feminine gay male.
Oh,
But
wow.
slowly but surely, you get into the right, the girls, and you start meeting the girls, and you start educating ourselves. I just was getting educated by the girls at the
Exactly.
bars. That's how we did it back then. And this was 91. Long time ago. There was nothing. It was transgender wasn't even seen a lot. It was like a unicorn.
Yeah. And
You didn't see
actually,
you didn't see him a lot except in the gay bars, of course.
right. And actually, there was, I mean, because there was a Candy Delight that lived in Dallas, Texas, and she was the first transgender woman that I met, and beautiful, beautiful as well. But like you said, we didn't have the YouTube, Facebook, and all that kind of stuff. We just had to,
Nothing whatsoever. And also, another thing, back in the early 90s, doctors weren't really educated neither on how to deal with transsexuals, hormone levels, and, mentally. There wasn't a lot of doctors out there that knew what to do with us neither. So that was a struggle also. So a lot of times we would have to get black market hormones, or go to
right.
Mexico and get hormones, or buy them off the streets, illegally, because we didn't know who to counsel us at the
Exactly.
time. At the time,
At the time. And thank God it's come a long, long way.
a long way, yeah. Especially in my lifetime, it's come a long way, but we still have a
A,
lot more growth
a
to
long
do.
way to
Still,
go.
yeah,
Starting with getting through this election that's coming up.
girl,
That's
you
first. Yeah.
already know. I voted today, by the way. I voted.
Oh, you did?
I
Okay. Well,
did vote. Early
I'm going
voting
tomorrow.
till
I'm
October
going to go vote
30th.
tomorrow. So I can't wait to go vote. It's going to feel
20
so
minute
great to
line. It
vote.
was like that. 20 minutes.
Oh, wow. That's really,
It was
really
very
good.
fast. Yeah.
So how did you come up with the name Taryn Taylor? How did you come up with your name?
Uh, it's a story. So my birth name that was given to me by my parents is Darren, Darren, and there was this little place on the west side of town where we would get our hormones. It was just like a little traveling place where illegals would go and get their green cards, or it was just, but they sell hormones on the side.
Oh,
And there was
wow.
and catty
Green
corner.
cards and hormones in the same shop.
Yeah, I know. And catty cornered from there was this meat market. It was called Taryn Meat Market Company or something like that. And I mean, every time we would go to get hormones, I would always see that. I'm like, Taryn, that's an interesting name. It kind of sounds like Darren. And so that's how Taryn came along. And it was Tarin at the meat market company. And I just switched it to a Y, Taryn. So that's
Oh
where the
my
Taryn
God.
came from. I didn't want to erase, what my mother, probably worked so hard to try to name her child. So I wanted to still um, keep it somewhat the same. So
Right.
that's how Taryn came along. Just an old little meat market across from the hormone shop. Isn't that funny?
And it's so interesting when I'm doing this show and I find out where people have gotten their names from and things like that. It's so interesting. So
Yeah,
now we know Taryn Taylor, you guys, was named after a meat market. Okay,
it
so
was. It
that
was
might
the
be the
Terry
answer
Meat
to some of the
Market.
other things. So, well, when you hit the stage, what is your goal to accomplish before you finish your performance? We all
um,
go on stage and we have something that we want to
well,
prove or
one, I
what
want
is
to not follow my ass.
okay.
That's one. But I think what we all want to do is we just want to bring joy and sometimes laughter and um, you know any type of emotion. If you're doing a ballad and you want to express that emotion to the audience and you want them to
Right.
receive it in the way that you're expressing it. If you're doing a dance number, you want the audience to feel the dance. Just we're in the entertainment business, so we're out there to entertain. And
Exactly.
whatever that is, whether it's comedy, whether it's drama, whether it's high kicks and splits, whether it's showing skin and being sexy and sultry. It's all entertaining.
Well, I
So
leave that up to
that's
you.
my goal. Is just I hope to entertain them, and I hope that they enjoy it and that they come back.
Well, obviously they are, and the sultry, sexy part. So we're showing skin. I'll leave that up to you. I won't. I won't.
Oh, I got that nailed, honey.
I won't try that one. I
I
won't
built an
try
entire
that
career out of that.
one. So let me ask you this. I'm working on myself as we do these shows, and I'm trying not to use the word so much at the beginning of the
Like during
uh
interview,
yeah.
filler
So
words.
yeah, so I'm trying to not do that so much. But when did you decide to transition, and what was the inspiration, or what caused you to decide to transition?
Well, as I spoke earlier, transitioning is, first of all, very personal for everybody, and everybody has their own journey, however long it takes. And mine, as soon as I recognized what it was full speed ahead. I started my hormone therapy, like I said, but it was all black market, so it wasn't um, doctor. Um, it wasn't get prescribed by a
Yeah,
doctor. We were just like kind of like popping them like candy. We didn't really know how to do it, but we knew that they were hormones and we were transgender, and that's what we were gonna do. But yeah, as soon as I knew what it was and I identified it, that it was over from them. It was almost like one day to the next. Because
wow.
you would go out as a girl, but be a boy during the day, and one day it was just boom. I'm just not doing it anymore.
So you always had that feeling, and when you
There
found
was
out that
just something, like I said, there was no YouTube, there was no tutorials, there was no education, anything out there to educate us on what we were feeling. So yeah, we just kind of back then we just kind of felt our own vibe and figured it out on our own. But it was a community of us, so we
right.
all kind of helped each other. Like you get the hormones here, and you do this, and we just kind of winged it and helped each other through the process. We're all me, Melissa Crawford, Ariel Andrews, Erica Andrews, Kayla Crawford, all this young kids, Denise Michaels. We just navigated our transition together and supported each other, and we did it. We're still here.
And
Some
that's
of us.
wonderful that y'all created a support system and
Yeah.
helped each other, because sometimes nowadays people get they don't reach out to help as often as they should, especially when someone's going through something like that.
Right.
Sometimes there's a lot of jealousy and things like that. But I remember back in the day, of course I never transitioned, but I did know a lot of people who did,
Of
and I know
course.
that there was always
And
a
you
lot of
probably knew
support.
him beforehand and after.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And during their transition, many people I've known,
Of course. That's
during their transition. And I must say, y'all have turned out quite lovely, and you're wonderful. Not only are you beautiful outward, but you're also all the ones that, especially the ones you just named, I know, and ones that I've known, they're beautiful on the inside as
yeah.
well. And I think
Yeah.
a lot of people sometimes don't get past the fact of is transgendered or transsexual or whatever, and they don't give you a chance to learn how beautiful you are on the inside. Well, you know, you're Miss Gay Texas USofA for 25 years.
I know, right? They're gonna have to pry that crown off my head next year.
Well, by the time you give it up, it might be permanently on there.
Yeah, right.
But you're doing an
I may just want to
amazing.
give it to whoever's next, right? Like,
You're doing an amazing, outstanding job.
thanks.
And I'm curious to know what has been your motivation and inspiration to keep doing such a wonderful job, especially reigning during a pandemic.
That's a very good question. I get asked that a lot. But my only answer to that is I it was 14 years in the making and my sixth try to win Miss Texas. And I wasn't gonna let a pandemic uh, soften or water down my reign. You know, I had to do something to show that I'm Miss Texas and to have some kind of memory of it. So I just thought instead of it always being about me, I wanted to do something and because I didn't even know a lot of the history of Miss Gay Texas, but I think every Miss Gay
Hmm.
Texas should, or at least
Yeah,
if you're going to be Miss Texas, you should know the history. And I
right.
think that a lot of people would be curious about the history, and come to find out, everybody loved it, loved the
Yeah.
tributes, loved the video, loved just learning from Pauletta Lee. I'm crying out loud, she won in 1986. Can you
Yep.
imagine doing pageants and I mean, were you around in 1986
I
doing?
was around. I wasn't doing pageants yet. I did drag for like 10 years before I actually entered my first pageant.
Oh,
But I
okay,
was
yeah,
I was
but
I
it,
was
it
at
blows my
pageant.
mind that these girls were doing these what we're doing right now 30 years ago, 35 years
Hmm.
ago.
Yeah.
It blows my mind. And back then, you hear stories and you could get arrested for being
Oh
in
yeah, and
drag.
drag. Yeah.
You had to like have one article of male clothing
I
or something,
yes.
or you know,
I
it,
always
it
had. I always had on my Fruit of the Looms.
that's what Shady used to always say. She's like, I always just wore boy underwear.
Right. That
Shady
was
said
the
to
safest
Pauletta,
thing.
that's one of the reasons why they never went home and drag, because they got so accustomed to going to work, getting ready, and getting completely out of drag to go home. So yeah, I've heard so many great stories, but yeah, going back to uh, my inspiration for being Miss Texas during the pandemic and what drove me to do what I did is just simply that is there was really nothing else to do. There was no bars open. Nobody was working. We were all. This was in the time when we were really quarantined. There was nothing open,
Right.
and that's what. And who's to say that if the pandemic didn't happen, would have I come up with this idea? Would have I thought of this idea? Probably not, because I would have been busy doing Miss Texas things, doing my travelings and doing my prelims. But kind of a blessing in disguise, I guess. Because uh, it set me apart of all the other current reigning title holders. That I feel like
Well, now everybody wants
I
to
kept
do.
my name
Look,
out
everybody
front.
wants to do it now. Since you did it, everybody wants to do
That's
it.
amazing. That's what it's all about. It's about inspiring and let somebody else carry it on in their way. That's what
Well,
drag is all about. Really, it's about
exactly.
inspiration, right? It's about inspiration
Exactly.
and yeah.
I
So
mean, we would if I hadn't been inspired by people like Hot Chocolate, Naomi Sims, and Donna Day, and things like that, I wouldn't be doing it. And also, I agree with you that the pandemic there's a lot of bad things associated with the pandemic, but there's a lot of us that have done things like I've had this talk show on hold, and I say this almost every show for like 4 or 5 years, and because of the pandemic, I was like, what am I doing? Why am I not doing it? Well, like I said, you've been doing an amazing job, and I know there's someone else who thinks that you've been doing an amazing job. Can we bring in our special guest?
who
Uh,
is it?
uh,
Craig.
Hi, this is Craig
Hi,
Henderson.
Craig. Oh my God, I didn't know you
Craig
were gonna be here.
Craig
Hi,
owns Miss
Coffee.
Gay Texas. Hi, Craig. He owns Miss Gay Texas.
Oh,
He owns Miss Gay Texas USofA at large. He owns Mr. Gay USofA at large. He owns Mr. Gay USofA. He owns Miss Texas USofA Classic. He owns all that. He owns more pageants than
than
any other
anybody.
promoter. Six city titles. We just had Miss Houston the other night. So I thought it would be nice. I know he's very proud of you, and what do you have to say to Taryn, Craig?
Well, Taryn, I am very, very proud of you. And surprise, here I am.
I know.
We talked.
You didn't tell me all
We
day.
already talked today about 5 times, and
We talked all
I
day long.
didn't tell you I was going to be on the show tonight. But I'm very, very proud of you. The whole state of Texas is proud of you. The whole country is proud of you. You're doing an incredible job. I never know what type of title holder I'm going to get, but you have been incredible, and you've been one of the best Miss Texas USofAs ever. And I appreciate all your hard work. It makes me very happy to see you having a great year, people loving what you do, people agreeing with me that you're doing a fantastic job. And so we've got 10 more months, so keep it up.
Thank you. You're gonna make me cry.
You really are. You're doing a stupendous job.
Thank
You
you.
know, we talk every day, sometimes 4 or 5 times a day.
We do.
And it's about communication too. You know, she helps me be a better promoter, and I help her be a better title holder. And you know, we're in this together. We're in this
Yep,
together.
we're a team.
We're doing the best we can do during the pandemic and taking just one day at a time. But thank you for all your hard work.
Thank you. I love you. You know I do. One thing about me and Craig is I've known him for many, many years. Since I first started competing 14 years ago, we just were instantly attracted to each other and formed a friendship 14 years ago. So, I mean, of course, we're a lot closer now, but the key to having a successful reign, I think, is having that friendship and a respectful, trustworthy relationship with the person you're working with. And me and Craig are like right here.
And that's great. That is wonderful.
Yeah.
When you want, he's an easy person to work with, as long as you're doing your job. As long as
I was gonna say,
yes, as long as you're doing your job. Now, don't do
Yeah.
your job.
Mhm. Yeah, we've had no issues, no problem whatsoever, not yet.
Oh, well, great. Well, Craig, I really appreciate you coming in tonight.
I'm so happy to see you, Craig. What a good surprise.
As I said,
Thank you, Kofi, for asking me to come in. And I love you too, Kofi. Kofi and I have been friends for 33, 34 years. And
that's amazing.
You're
wow.
You're an icon in our community. And thank you for all you do for everybody in our community.
Oh, yes. It's moments like this that makes it all worthwhile. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is Mr. Craig Henderson. He stopped in for a moment to say hello to his reigning Miss Gay Texas USofA and just let her know that she is doing an amazing job. Thank you so much, Craig.
Thanks, Craig. I'm going to call you after this.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, what a nice surprise. That was awesome. And he could keep a secret.
Oh, yeah.
We literally, there's times where we talk probably like 5, 6, 7 times a day and texting all day long, just whether it's business or gossip or just to see what each other is doing. We formed a really, really great friendship. I really treasure it a lot.
And that makes your whole year just even that much better.
Yeah, of course.
You know, because, you know, we've all known people that have reigned and they didn't get along with the owner and things like that. And
that must be difficult. I can't even imagine how the reign would be if me and Craig didn't get along. That would be just horrible.
Yeah. And then we were saying something earlier and it brought to my mind because you mentioned that when we reign, like one of the points I always like to emphasize is that you only have a year. Normally, you only have a year.
Exactly.
So you make the best. You
need to make the best out of it. And, you know, I mean, I think by the time I started doing the tributes, I already knew that I was going to reign another year. But before that, you know, when everything shut down, I didn't know. I just thought, God, you know, my whole reign is just going to be quarantined. You know, I really didn't know what was going to happen. So I was a little disappointed at first, but everything happens for a reason. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. I think that I won when I needed to win. This was the time that I needed to win. I wasn't ready or meant to win the last 5 times that I competed because this is the moment that was waiting for me. You know, I think this is I filled this spot perfectly. I don't know. I'm sure other people could have done it. I'm not saying nobody else could have done it, but I made the most of it. I was prepared for it. I was ready for it, and I made it happen.
Well, I can relate to what you're saying because when I won, it took me about 9 times. I didn't go every year for Continental Plus, but like every other year and stuff. So it took me about 8 times. And the thing was, is that I've always said as I started reigning and things, I was like, I'm so glad I didn't win before I won, because when I won, there were so many things that God had put in place that just made my reign something that it would have never been if I had
Hmm.
won any of those other times.
I
So I always, everything has its season, and I really agree with that 100%.
I
You
feel the
always,
same way. The first couple of times that I competed, I really wanted to win, especially the second time when I got first runner up to Layla O'Hara. I really wanted to win that year, but I don't think I would have enjoyed it, appreciated it, or had done as good a job had I won then, because I wasn't polished myself. I was polished for that pageant, but I don't think I would have been polished to reign a whole year. So,
mhm.
like I said, it just everything happens for a reason. I had to take all those heartbreaks and hurt to really appreciate the moment that I'm having now,
It
and
prepares you.
it's kind of, I mean, it's a double-edged sword because we're going through this pandemic, and but it really, in a way, in a weird way, it still has been the best year of my life.
Hmm.
It really has. Just
Yeah.
for anything, the community, uh, you know, because we're going through this pandemic, I have gotten so much love and appreciation and support from hundreds of people, thousands probably, around the country that message me and inbox me, see how I'm doing. That has gotten me through this crazy pandemic that the world is going through. So I'm blessed to be Miss Texas at the time because I'm getting so much love from everybody.
That's
Really cool.
wonderful.
Very
And
cool.
I'm really glad. I get excited about people having wonderful reigns, and that's why it really irritates me when I see people who don't take advantage of something that's been bestowed upon them, and they don't make the
Yeah.
most of it.
Well, I don't
Because
understand why somebody would work so hard and spend so much time and money and energy to, not take full 150% advantage of the experience,
exactly,
right?
exactly. You're 100% correct.
Yeah.
What has been the most disappointing experience in your career?
I would have to say I mean, I've had probably a few, but the one that really sticks out would probably be the last time I competed before I won. The last time I competed, because you work really hard to prepare for a pageant. You rehearse your butt off. You spend a lot of money, and it could go right 100 times. But you have that one opportunity in that
Hmm.
5 minutes, that one night,
Yeah.
to make it happen. And that particular talent and that particular night, like, you watching all that hard work literally fall apart before your very eyes while you're in the center of it is devastating. It's
Yeah.
devastating
Yeah.
because you have a whole audience watching you, and you're in the midst of a collapse, is which pretty much what happened to my talent. It just fell apart, just, and then you lose your thought, the nerves get to you, and I mean, it
I
was
know.
it
I
was
know.
not cute, so that would probably be the most uh the worst part of my career, I would think, the
Well, and
most
you know what?
the most devastating, I mean.
A lot of people don't realize that when we're in competition, we know that we have supporters out there who believe in us and who are there and wanting us. And so sometimes when things don't go right, like it did that night
You
for
feel you're
you, you
disappointing them.
yes, exactly.
Yeah,
That's
a lot of
that's
them
almost
have sponsored you, have given you money, hundreds of dollars sometimes. So yeah, it's a lot of pressure sometimes, and that's exactly true. That's all of that. It's disappointment in yourself, a shame. You feel shame because you let so many people down. You know, And then, you know, especially when you're going into the competition and, you know, you're a front runner or the contender to win, all those expectations just get in, you know, in my case anyway, it gets in your head, you know, you don't know how to process it, and it either comes out really good or it comes out really bad.
With that being said, what has been the most gratifying moment in your career?
Well, you know what that is, honey. August 28th, 2019, when I was crowned Miss Texas USofA. Finally! That really was. And you know, another thing is, all 5 times that I competed, I did feel, besides the last time, I felt confident, I felt good, but there was something different about this time. I had a different attitude, I had a different perspective, I had a different confidence. It was almost like, not that I knew I was going to win, but I felt like I could win. You know what I mean? Like, it just was a different vibe. I don't know how to explain it.
Let me explain it to you. Because Naomi Sims said to me one time, she goes, when you're going to win the pageant, you're in a place that you've never really been before. And in your mind, your spirit. And she goes, what's so funny is that you don't realize that you were in this place until after you win. Because during the competition, all you know is that, you know, for some reason, I'm calm, I'm enjoying this, I'm not stressing, I'm doing this. And Naomi Sims said to me a long time ago, she says, when you're gonna win that pageant, you're gonna know. But you won't know that you knew to after you won. And it makes so much sense because
I am covered in goosies right now. That is,
oh my God,
exactly how I felt. I was always super nervous. I mean, nervous to the point of freaking out before. And that night I wasn't. I mean, I had normal nerves, like just a normal butterfly.
Right.
I want to do well, but it wasn't like crippling nerves.
Right.
You know,
exactly.
That's exactly, you said it perfectly. And
you're like, it's almost like you're in this fog. Like you're just I'm here,
going through the motion of what you've been rehearsing, and
exactly.
And then when it's all done, you're like, oh my God, I just won Miss Texas. What the fuck? Can I cuss?
Yeah, you can. But I know
that's how it was. It was really like, wow, this is what it feels like. Like, it feels amazing.
Yeah, and you don't, like I said, you don't realize it till after you win. You're like, I felt so different. I was just like, you know, but that's Naomi Sims explained that to me years and years ago. Yeah. And I'm so glad to hear you say, when you started saying that, I was like, oh my God. She had that.
Your memory.
She had that feeling.
That's perfect the way you said it. That is how I felt. Exactly how I felt.
Yeah.
So crazy.
What is your ultimate goal as far as your career in the?
Well, my next goal is to conquer Miss USA, and that was never. I knew that if I won Miss Texas, I would have to go to Miss USA, but it was never like, oh, I want to be Miss USA. I just really wanted to be Miss Texas, and I didn't know when that was going to happen or how that was going to happen, but once I won Miss Texas, now I'm like, oh yeah, I could do this. This is gonna happen. You know, I think it gave me the confidence to believe that I can be Miss USA and I could reign as Miss USA. Like, I know I could do that now. I maybe not thought I could do that then because I hadn't conquered Miss Texas yet. So if I can't conquer Miss Texas, how in the world am I gonna conquer Miss USA? So I don't think that was always way in the back burner of my dreams. But now it's like in the forefront of my dreams because I done conquered this dream. And now I have another dream that I want to conquer. So,
well, I want to let you know that after you won Miss Texas, there was many of us who already said that would probably be our next Miss Gay USofA. If you know, so we'd already claimed that because it was just, I mean, like I said, your personality is so charming and you carry yourself with so much respect. I hope a lot of people who are title holders take notice and really follow you as an example. Because I'm a really hard person to please when it comes to how people carry themselves as a title holder. I'm a very hard person to please, and I've been just so in love with the way that you've represented the title of Miss Gay Texas
Thank
USofA.
you,
I'm
Kofi. That
very,
means a
very,
lot. That means a lot to
I'm
me. Thank you.
very,
I respect you
I'm,
so much.
I'm very honored. So let's get to some little fun things.
Okay.
Uh, so what makes Taryn happy?
Um, my animals, my dogs. I love my dogs. You know, uh, when a lot of people were struggling being quarantined and being stuck at home all day long, I was like, ooh, honey, this is lovely. I do that all day. I love to be home. I'm a complete homebody.
Yeah,
Except when I'm out, I'm out. But when I'm home, I am home. I am chilled. I'm comfortable. My happiest time is being on the couch with my dogs, watching TV and eating. Just being home. I made my home the way uh, a place where I want to be.
right,
So
right.
yeah, that's what makes my family makes me happy. My mother makes me happy. Um, my friends make me happy. Sometimes, most of the time. But basically, I mean, my home makes me happy, and the things that are in it. My animals, my family, my sister.
Well, I can definitely relate to you because I have a little dog, and
They're like our babies.
when the pandemic first happened, I was like, oh my God, I can relax for a few days, like 3 or 4. I had It's been a long time since I've had 3 or 4 days in a row off, and things like that. So, but I can definitely relate because I love being at home, and it was something that my mother always taught me. And like you said, you make your home to where it's a place you want to be.
Yeah.
And the thing that my mother taught me, she goes, when you work hard, she goes, make sure you build yourself a nice home. And it's not to be braggish or anything like that. You build yourself a nice home so when you walk in the door, you can say, this is what I work for.
Yes. That
And it's
makes
here for
complete
me.
sense.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
here for me to enjoy. Have something to look around at to say, this is why I work so hard.
Yeah, and it's a reflection of you and your hard work, like you said.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. She always said that to me, and to this day, I live by that, and that's
Yeah.
my home is for me to come in and relax and enjoy, and I want to look around and see that I paid for everything in cash.
Yeah. And everything was handpicked by you and what you
Yes,
like and your
yes,
aesthetic, and yeah,
yes,
I agree.
exactly, exactly. So, what would the like if you could just have a really fun day? What would that day be like?
Um, it would be outdoors, like here in San Antonio, we like to do the river, we like to do the lake, anything with water and friends and barbecue and beer. That's like a good fun day for me. Just being with friends and eating and enjoying each other's company and swimming, whether it's in a lake, a river, a pool.
Wow. Well, it's so funny because I was gonna ask you next, what was your favorite food? Because I love to eat. I've been so blessed to travel all over the world and stuff and try so many different
Mm.
types of food that my palate is very eclectic. And
Uh,
so I was gonna ask you, like, what is your favorite food? Would that be the barbecue or?
Um, I do enjoy barbecue, but I wouldn't say that's my favorite food. I think my favorite food would probably. I'm a burger girl. I'm a burger and fry kind of girl. I love a good burger, and I love a good steak fry. I love I love everything that's not good for you.
Don't
Like
we
I
all?
love burgers. I love pizza. I love wings.
Okay, so you can you love everything that's
Yeah,
fried and
me and Craig were just talking about this the other day. Me and his mom about things that we like and if we're picky eaters or whatever. And there's only three things I don't like. I don't like liver. I don't like beets, and I don't like Brussels sprouts. That's it.
well,
Everything else I think I like. I can't think of anything I don't like.
and see,
But those
I
three,
eat
those
liver.
three, I don't think I'll ever like.
I love beets. I love
You
beets.
do? How do you
Yeah. Oh my
even
God, I
make
love.
them?
And they said they're good. They're good for your blood or something like that. But I love beets. I do. I love beets.
Girl, I'll eat
Liver, I
anything
can
else
eat
that's good
every
for my
now and
blood.
then. But Brussels sprouts, I'm iffy. I'm on the borderline. They have to really be prepared in a really,
Is
really
there
great way.
anything that you don't like? Like you're like, ooh, I would not eat that ever.
Girl, look at me. You tell me. In all my travels, though, I have learned to be very open-minded and to like try something at least once, and then if I don't like
Oh,
it,
me too. Me too.
But
I've tried Brussels sprout, I've tried beets, and I've tried liver. I don't like it.
I'm gonna make you a dish that's comprised of all three of those things.
Girl, please have something on the side just in case.
Oh my God! Well, I have thoroughly enjoyed this conversation with you, Taryn. It's been
Are we
amazing. Is there
done?
any, yeah? Is there anything else that you would like to leave us with
Yeah. Well,
that I didn't touch on?
I just want to thank you for having me. I love and respect you for a long time, and I'm glad that we have established a friendship in these last several years, especially this past year because I won. And I want to thank all the supporters of Texas USofA pageantry system, personal supporters of me and my career. I just hope that I've made you proud. I hope that we continue to grow and share experiences with. And I hope that after this pandemic is over, we could celebrate 35 years of Miss Gay Texas USofA in
Yes,
August. But yeah,
yes.
that's it. Just thank you to everybody who supported me and have loved me and have sent me messages and of hoping that I was doing well. That has really carried me through this year for sure.
Well, great. Well, great. Well, I have thoroughly enjoyed you tonight, and those of you watching, as I said at the beginning, by the end of this, you would understand when I said that her personality and the warmth of her heart is just as beautiful as she is on the outside. She's that more beautiful on the inside. So I really appreciate you taking time out of your busy evening
My
to come and
pleasure.
have a
Love you.
conversation with you. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, our very special guest tonight, all the way from San Antonio, Texas. She is the reigning Miss Gay Texas USofA, and this is Taryn Taylor. Thank you so much, Taryn.
Thank you, Kofi. Bye, everybody.
Oh, what a wonderful conversation. I had no idea that she was originally from Spain. Oh, wow. Once again, I want to remind you that next week will be our season 1 finale. And I've asked one of my very dear friends to be my special guest that week. And we may have a few other little surprises for you in store. But Alexis Davenport from Dallas, Texas, the monarchy of the Davenport family will be here, and you know she can be crazy and all that. So I can't wait to sit down and talk with her. I think we'll probably be doing that in person. So, but once again, here at the Coffee Break, we just want to remind you, first of all, most importantly, early voting has started. I know here in Texas. So if you have not voted yet, please go vote. I'm going tomorrow to vote. But please exercise your right to vote, because if you don't, you don't have a voice. If you don't vote, then don't complain. Okay, just put it just bluntly. If you don't go and take the time that little 15 minutes once you get in the booth to cast your ballot, if you don't care enough to do that, then whatever happens for the next 4 years, then you need to just keep your mouth shut. Okay, I'm just gonna say it like it is. But remember, here at the Coffee Break, we want to remind you that there's still a pandemic going on. It is very real. So we want you to stay safe, social distance, wear your mask, and make sure you're sanitizing your hands and practicing social distancing. And remember, here at the Coffee Break, the brew is always better. And more importantly, it is always good to the last drop. Once again, thank you for tuning in to another wonderful episode of the Coffee Break. See you next week.